Hi there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this adorable little pocket birthday card. You can either make it a pull-out sentiment card or you can make it a pocket card to hold a gift card for someone. And this is project number 2 in my Amazing Life Club Kit. Check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current club kits I'm offering. The projects in the Amazing Life Club Kit center around the Amazing Life stamps and the rectangle stitched framelits. And this is sold as a bundle during the 2019 Occasions catalog, and after that they'll be sold separately. You'll also need to have the Stitch Shapes framelits dies and the Layering Circles framelits dies. Now, if you purchase the club kit, you got the PDF with the dimensions and supplies. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and go over them again so that you'll make sure you have everything. In the Night of Navy cardstock, you're going to need 8 by 6 1/4 and a 2.5 by 1 1/8. Okay, so I had to make a little correction on the Night of Navy. It is 6 1/4 by 7 1/8. I think I said 6 1/4 by 8. It's 6 1/4 by 7 1/8. And then for the crumb cake, you're going to need 4 by 2. I believe this is crumb cake. Is it crumb cake? Let me check. No, that's Sahara Sand. Sorry. For Sahara Sand, you're going to need 4 by 2. Those two colors are very similar, so it's easy to get them confused. So in our regular Whisper White, you're going to need a piece of 5 1/8 by 4 1/8, and then you're going to need a piece that's 4 by 3 1/4 and a piece that's 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And then in your thick Whisper White, you're going to need a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's going to be your backing here, your back part of your card. Now with your DSP, your 6 by 12 piece that you get, you'll need to cut it a special way if you want to have your piece that you need for the next project that we're going to be doing. So when you cut your 6 by 12 DSP, be sure to cut it this way here so that you have your butterflies going like they're flying up. So you'll want to cut 2 7/8 here, and then you'll want to cut 2 3/4, and then that will leave you this piece to make your address book cover. And then you'll just trim these pieces to 5 inches. So we have our DSP, and for your adhesives, you will need, in addition to the glue and snail, you will probably want some tear and tape and some glue dots as well. In the way of ribbon and embellishments, we have the Night of Navy gingham ribbon. We have a 12-inch piece, and we have a 7-inch piece. We have 1 large, 2 medium, and 2 small of the Night of Navy Happiness Blooms enamel dots. And then we have a couple of little butterfly die cuts. One is a punch. This comes from the Butterfly Gala punch that's in the Occasions catalog 2019, and that's punched with Night of Navy. And then this one comes from the Butterfly Beauty Thinlits, and it is the larger or the thicker butterfly. I'll show you. If you have the kit, you don't need to worry about this, but just so for those that don't have the kit and they want to make it, it is this butterfly right here. I just snipped it off, made it kind of curved it there to make it look like a butterfly. So you will need some Night of Navy ink. And the tools that you'll want to use will be your scissors, a piercing tool. I'll be using my Stamparatus to do my stamping, but you could use another stamping positioner. And you'll also need your Big Shot to cut out your rectangles right there. So I'll clear this away and we'll get ready for our stamping. So before we do our stamping, we're going to take our 5 1/8 by 4 1/8 piece of cardstock, and we're going to turn it so that it's at the 4 1/8 across the top, and we're going to score it at 3, and that is our fold for our gift card holder. So we're not going to crease it yet. We're going to actually stamp it first. We'll stamp Happy Birthday, and remember the Happy Birthday will go this way because we're going to fold it like that. So we want our Happy Birthday up at the top above the smaller piece. And then we have our 4 by 3 1/4 that's going to be for our You Are Amazing, and we'll die cut that. So I'm going to use a piece of 4 by 6 window sheet to help me place my stamp, and I'm going to put it up there in the corner, horizontal, and I'm going to find the Happy Birthday stamp. So I'll need the Happy Birthday stamp and the You Are Amazing stamp. I'll set this one aside for now, and I'm going to put my Happy Birthday down here at the bottom. Pick it up and ink it up with my Night of Navy, and that's just going to give me an impression so that I can put my, now I've got this kind of folded, it's going to go in the center, Happy Birthday, and I'll put this here and ink my stamp up again. There's my Happy Birthday, and I'll clean off my stamp. And now I'm going to stamp You Are Amazing. I think I forgot to dry this off. And I'm just going to do this, my 4 by 3 1/4. And since I'm going to die cut this, I don't really have to worry about placement. I just kind of put it in the center so I have plenty of room to stamp it and die cut it. Okay, I have my You Are Amazing, so I'm ready to die cut that. So we're done with our stamping. I'll clear all this away, and for our for die cutting our You Are Amazing, we're going to use the smallest rectangle here from this set of rectangle dies, and we're just going to, I'm going to tape mine in place so that it doesn't move, and then I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot. So now I have my sentiment for the front here. So I'm going to set this aside, and we'll get these aside, and we're going to get our scoring tool back out. So we're going to take our 7 1/8 by 6 1/4, and we're going to put the 7 1/8 across the top, and we're going to score at 4. And then we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to score a 1/2 inch with the shorter. Here's our score line. The 4 inches is down here, and then so this is the it's what, 3 1/8 at the top. We're going to score a 1/2 inch just down to that score line, and then we're going to score at 5 3/4 here to this score line. So 1/2 inch and 5 3/4 to this score line. Here, we can go ahead and fold that. Now we're going to get our trimmer. So we're going to bring in our trimmer, and the 4-inch side above the fold is we're going to cut a 1/2 inch off of each side. So we scored a 1/2 inch down here on the 4-inch wide part. We're going to cut to the score line. So we'll put this here to 1/2 inch and bring in our blade. Now I'm going to start here and then go up and down to 4, just to the score line, and then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing. 1/2 inch up and then down to 4 to the score line, and then I'm going to cut here. I'm going to cut across that score line so that I have this. I'll move this out of the way. And now I'm just going to miter the edges, the corners here a little bit with my scissors to give it a little bit a neater easement when I'm folding this over. So you can do that. So now we're going to go ahead and fold these in and fold on the score lines. And you'll want to fold these again because you'll need to leave room for your cardstock. So you'll see that it's a little bit tighter crease there with the cardstock inside. But you don't want it to pucker, so be sure to leave room so that it's not going to pucker. Right, before we adhere these, we want to go ahead. This is our front with the tabs. It's going to go around the back like that. We want to go ahead and put our DSP on. So your 2 DSPs, they're same width, but one is just a little bit longer. It's like 1/8 inch taller. That's the one that's 5 by 2 7/8. So the taller one is going to go on the front here. But we also want to, before we put it on, we want to put this little circle in it. So what we need to do is to get our layering circle framelits, and we need our stitched shapes framelits. And the framelits that we're going to need for this part here, we're just going to need the layering circle framelits. So we're going to need the 2nd and 3rd largest circle dies. So this would be the smallest, 2nd smallest, and then the 3rd smallest here. So those are the 2 that we need right now. We're going to die cut this first. We want to have it, and we're going to use the larger of the 2. That would be the 3rd largest. We want to have it about 3/4 inch from the edge, maybe a little less, just a little less. And then we want this part to be 1 7/8 inches from the bottom. So we can go ahead and measure. Let me get my ruler. That's probably the easier way to do it because I'm measuring in the center. So about 1 7/8. So that's going to be about right here. I'm just going to mark a little mark on both sides. And that will tell me where I need to place the bottom of my 3rd smallest circle die. And again, I want to have it about 3/4 inch from the edge. And then when I'm happy with the placement, 3/4 inch from the edge, and then the die is about 1 7/8 inch from the bottom. I'm going to tape this in place and run it through the Big Shot. So I have that. Now I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the front. And remember, this is going to go like this. So this is the front. And I want 1/8 inch all around. I'm going to use glue because I want to be able to move this around. Okay, that looks good. And I'm going to take the second smallest circle die. I'm just going to fit it right in there along the inside of that last circle that I made, and I'm going to tape it in place and run this whole thing through the Big Shot. And you can see that I will be I might have to fold this in to get it through the Big Shot. Okay, so that takes care of the front part here. So now we're going to put this on up at the top here on the inside, so you can see how that's going to go like that. So we'll just put that on with some glue. This is 5 by 2 3/4. So once we have our glue on the back, we're just going to make sure our butterflies are facing up like this, and make 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and these lines should match up. And now we're going to do our butterfly. Now if you wanted to just do the pull out, you could just only use like about 3 inches and put your happy birthday here if you didn't want to do the pocket part. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to use some tear and tape, but you could use some glue as well. Just here kind of on the edge near the sides. And then I'm just going to leave a little bit of a pucker there for the card. I don't want to make it completely flat. So I have a little pucker here for my card. And if you use glue, you want to do the same thing. Okay, so now we have our pucker here, and we're ready to put our circles and our butterflies on. So let's go ahead and put this on the inside, and we will put these, we're ready to put this on. Again, now that I have that in place, I'm going to again burnish these just so that I make sure I leave room in there. You don't want that to be tight. You want to be able to slide that in and out. So you want it to pucker a little bit. So you can either use glue or tear and tape. Again, I'm going to use tear and tape. It's a little bit easier with these smaller flaps. And again, you don't want it tight. You want to make sure that it stays loose. So let's go ahead and do our circles. Now we have some Sahara sand here, and we're going to take our smallest circle die from our Layering Circles framelits. That's this one right here. We'll get our 1.5 by 1.5 Whisper White, and we're going to take our smallest circle die and run this through the Big Shot. So we have that. That's what we'll be putting our butterfly on. And then for the Sahara sand, we're going to use the smallest stitched circle die from the Stitch Shapes framelits. We're going to cut 2 of those, so we'll be 1, 2. I'll be right back with that. Okay, so there are 2 circles, and so one circle is going to go here on there. So we're going to put that on with glue. Make sure that it's down there well into your pocket, and then we're going to put some glue on here. I'm running low on my glue. Okay, so I got a new one. Hopefully this won't go everywhere. New ones are kind of run easily. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my stitched circle dies. I got some glue on there, and I'm going to just set it here inside like that. Make sure that it fits in there perfectly. and let it dry. Make sure you don't get any glue on the back side. Okay, that's going to be, it might take it a little bit to dry. And I'll go ahead and pull that out. Now I'm going to put this one on the back and match it up perfectly to the one on the front. This time I'm going to put the glue on here on our actual die cut. And then match it up. Let that dry a little bit. Clean off my hands. And then this is going to go on top here on the center, in the center of our stitch circle. Okay, we'll let that dry. We're going to put our butterflies together. The navy goes on the bottom, and then the balmy blue. I think I forgot to tell you this is balmy blue. So I'm going to use a glue dot to attach this. We'll put one right in the center below the body of the butterfly, and then we're just going to attach it here, kind of where it looks like it should be. And then let's see, we'll go ahead and take two or three glue dots to put this in place. I'm going to put it in the center of the body there, behind the head and kind of in the middle, and then towards the bottom of the tail. And then we want it to be kind of at an angle, like it's flying, kind of like almost like a 45-degree angle, but maybe more like a 30-degree angle this way. And I'm going to fluff up the wings a little bit so it doesn't look so flat. And next we're going to get our little epoxy, and let's see, we need a small and a medium. So the medium goes up at the top, just right behind the head, and the small goes right behind that one. Well, not right behind it, there's just a small space. Okay, so now we have our butterfly, and that's going to go in here. That's our little butterfly gift card holder. Now we need to put our ribbon on, and the 7" is going to go around here, and let's see, it's going to be 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. So on the back, get our pencil and mark 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. That's going to let us know where to put our ribbon, and also our snail that we're going to put there to hold our ribbon in place. So I'm putting that just above the mark. I'll get my 7" piece of gingham ribbon, place it across the front, decide which is the best looking. This looks good. Find my mark on even ends on the ends, and just right above that pencil mark is where I'm going to put my ribbon. Now this is going to go on our thick Whisper White 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's just going to go straight on like that, and you can put it on with glue or snail. I'm going to actually use glue because I think glue is going to, over time, is going to give a better hold. You may not use as much glue as I do. I tend to go overboard with my adhesives. That's nothing new. And so we want 1/8 of an inch all around. And to make it kind of even. That's the good thing about glue, is it lets you move it a little before it's permanent. And then you can press it down when you have it where you want it. Now I'm going to bring in the You Are Amazing and our piece of 2.5 by 1 1/8 inch night of navy. This is going to go on top of that, and I will put that on with some glue as well, small dots of glue, because I don't want it to ooze, like I said. I'm going to just set that right on top of that, just a real thin border around it, not hardly any at all. And again, that's what's good about the glue, it gives you a chance to adjust. So we're almost done. This is going to go here, right here. You Are Amazing. You can put it a little lower or up a little higher. It looks like maybe I brought my circle over a little further this time than I should have. Maybe I should have gone with the 5/8. But if you want to bring it down a little, you can do that as well. So I'm going to put this on with some glue. Put it right here. You Are Amazing. I have to keep wiping my hands because I keep getting glue on it. But if your glue dries, you can always take a clean eraser and erase the glue off of there. Now we're ready to put our epoxy dots on there. So we'll start with the smallest one. It seems to want to jump. Just going to put it kind of right here in the corner, and then the second medium size right next to it, and then the largest will go up here in the near the center. So we have that in place. Now we just need to do the bow, and it's 10 inches of the gingham ribbon. We're going to slide it underneath like this, and then we're going to make a loop, and we're going to bring this around the front and then through the loop that we just made, and just pull it tight and adjust it to where it is where we want it. Okay, after you've played with it and you've got it kind of where you want it, you'll go ahead and trim the sides. I'm trimming them away from the bow. Okay, our card is finished. This was project number 2 in my Amazing Life Club Kit. Check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current club kit I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.